The moment she stepped into the room, you could feel the tension shift. 3 recruits, big and confident, thought they could intimidate anyone, especially her. They didn't know her, and they certainly didn't know who they were messing with. She moved with a quiet confidence, calm but alert, her eyes scanning the room like she already knew everything about them. In less than a minute, their smirks and laughter would vanish, but in those first 45 seconds, they had no idea what was coming. The air felt heavy, charged, like something was about to snap, and you could almost see the doubt creeping into their minds. Every subtle movement, every glance from her carried a weight they couldn't measure. This isn't just a story about courage or physical strength, it's about respect, experience, and the power of reputation. 3 recruits thought they could play a game, but 1 second of underestimating her would change everything. By the time they realized who she really was, it was already too late. Stay with me, because the moment they discovered the truth will leave you stunned, and it's a lesson about never judging someone by appearances. What happened next is something you'll never forget. No one in that room could have guessed her past. Before this moment, she had spent years pushing her limits in the Navy SEALs, a world most people only read about in stories or watch on screens. The discipline, the training, the mental toughness, it wasn't something you could fake. And yet, here she was, standing casually among civilians, blending in so effortlessly that anyone looking for signs of fear or hesitation would have come up empty-handed. The 3 recruits continued to whisper, trying to psych themselves up, but there was an invisible wall between them and her, a presence they couldn't name. She didn't need to raise her voice or throw a punch, every small gesture, every quiet word, carried authority. Her reputation, though unknown to them, preceded her in ways they couldn't see. As she moved closer, they straightened up, suddenly aware of how little control they actually had in this room. There was a story behind her calm demeanor, a history of impossible missions and challenges most would crumble under. The tension thickened with each passing second, and the recruits began to realize they had walked into something far bigger than themselves. What they didn't know yet, and what would soon hit them like a shockwave, was the full extent of her skills and how quickly she could turn the situation around. The 3 recruits tried to recover their composure, but every instinct in their bodies was screaming caution. They had come in thinking this would be an easy show of dominance, a moment to assert their strength, but she wasn't just anyone. From the way she held herself, from the controlled way she breathed, it was clear she had faced real danger before, and survived. The kind of danger that left a permanent mark on those who encountered it. One of the recruits, the tallest of the 3, tried to mask his nerves with a joke, hoping to break the tension. She barely acknowledged him, her eyes calm but piercing, scanning each of them like a predator assessing its surroundings. Another recruit shifted uncomfortably, realizing he had underestimated her entirely. The room felt smaller, the air thicker, and the power dynamic had completely shifted without a single word being raised. Meanwhile, in the corner, a subtle subplot was unfolding. A training instructor, who had seen countless attempts at bravado over the years, watched silently, sensing the moment was about to tip into something unforgettable. There was a story in the making here, not just of confrontation, but of respect, fear, and revelation. Every second stretched longer, each heartbeat louder, as the recruits faced the reality they had ignored. This was no ordinary encounter. They were about to learn exactly what "know who I am" really meant, and the moment of truth was closer than they imagined. The room felt electric, every movement magnified by the tension that hung in the air. The 3 recruits exchanged glances, their bravado crumbling as the reality of the situation sank in. They had walked in thinking this was a simple challenge, a chance to show off their strength, but now every instinct screamed that they were way out of their depth. She stepped forward, slowly, each movement deliberate, controlled. There was no rush, no panic, just an unshakable presence that made the recruits hesitate. Even the instructor shifted slightly, sensing that something extraordinary was about to unfold. Every second felt like an eternity, the silence broken only by the shallow breaths of those trying to appear calm. One recruit swallowed hard, trying to find words that could regain control, but they stuck in his throat. His confidence was evaporating, replaced by an uneasy awareness that he had misjudged her completely. The tallest recruit tensed, muscles coiled like a spring, ready for a confrontation he wasn't sure he could handle. As she closed the distance, the stakes became clear. This wasn't about intimidation anymore. It was about survival, respect, and revealing the truth of who she really was. Every eye in the room was fixed on her, hearts racing, waiting for the moment that would shatter assumptions and leave no doubt. The climax was seconds away, and no one, least of all the 3 recruits, was ready for what was coming. Just when it seemed the tension had peaked, a new element shifted everything. One of the recruits, quiet, unassuming until now, made a sudden move, thinking he could sneak an advantage. But she was ready. In a blink, her awareness and reaction left them frozen. The room's energy changed instantly, the recruits' confidence cracked further, replaced by disbelief and panic. They had thought they were just facing someone tough, but this was beyond anything they had imagined. The instructor's eyes widened, recognizing the precision and control in her every move. It wasn't just skill, it was instinct honed through years of impossible missions, the kind most people only hear about. The recruits, now fully aware of their miscalculation, realized they had triggered something far bigger than their initial challenge. Every heartbeat in the room seemed louder, every second stretching as anticipation and fear tangled together.